Hello, family and friends. Please like and subscribe and hit the notification button so you're notified when I post new content. Let's do it. Rest in peace, King Von. King Von was a 26-year-old Chicago rapper who had he was from O Block, the O Block set, alongside of Lil Durk and Lil Reese. And King Von had just did 3.5 years in prison and just got out. It hasn't even been quite a year. And his boy, Lil Durk, took him aside and put him on the mic. In this last 6 months, his career started bubbling. This young talented man's career was bubbling. All of them are talented. I mean, we all have our, you know, whatever it is. But these three are talented. And he was shot 3 or 4 days ago outside of Atlanta restaurant. And the alleged shooter has been picked up and now is waiting arraignment in a Atlanta court district. But they identified the shooter by his clothing because they were posting on social media prior to arriving at the restaurant. And that's how the Atlanta police were able to identify who the shooter was in the video. It's just sad to see all these young men's lives coming to an end before they even have a chance to reach their prime. It's ridiculous. I'm tired of seeing it. I'm just tired of seeing it. Another rapper, Mo3. Mo3 was signed with Bootsy. I'm not sure. I'm not sure all of y'all are familiar with Mo3, but I'm sure all of us are familiar with Bootsy. And one moment here. Here we go. Now, Bootsy was from He's a Dallas rapper. He was at home and was driving down a Dallas highway. And the other day before yesterday, he was shot on the highway in broad daylight. And onlookers stated that the alleged shooter got out of his car. Hear me out. Got out of his car, chased Mo3 down, and shot him in the back of the head. Now this was another young brother. Now I listened to his music. His career was also bubbling. His career was bubbling, you know. And he was signed with Bootsy, as I stated, and he's no longer with us. Another Dallas rapper this week got arrested was Deshaun Robertson. Now he was arrested for murder. Now Deshaun, King Von, and Mo3 all had albums dropping this week or next week. It might even be the prior week. But all of their music is worth more now to the people that were backing them, now that they're no longer with us, than when they were alive. There's something to be said about that. There's really something to be said about that. I'm going to say that again. These artists' music now and their masters are worth more with them dead than alive. And in no other genre of music do you see these artists dropping like flies like that. You know, it's a sad commentary on where we are in the music industry. It really is. You know. Now let's just change topics and talk about Tim Big Hip Norman. Tim Big Hip Norman from the Sweetie Pie fame, the reality show Sweetie Pies. Now I've watched that a few times. This is Miss Robbie, his mom. He's pictured with here. If you're ever in the Louisiana area, stop by and check out Sweetie Pies. You won't regret it. Great soul food. But anyway, Tim spent the last 10 years locked up for 3 armed robberies. During this 10 years, his mom, Miss Robbie, the sweet lady right here, is grind. She built Sweetie Pies and built a franchise to where she set herself up for life and was there for her son while he was in prison. Well, he gets out of prison and they decided to do a show. Nothing dealing with him. He didn't get no contract. He was just part of the show. But anyway, this big hip, egotistical guy, let's just say that, you can see the resentment in the show that he had towards his nephews because of the love his grandmother had for her grandkids, her two grandsons, which we all know the love of a grandmother or grandfather. You know, if you're blessed to know the love of a grand, I should say it like that. blessed to know the love of a grandmother or grandfather. Bar none. Strong, 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 strong bond. And Tim resented that to the point where now he's accused of the alleged murder of his nephew, uh, arranging the murder of his nephew, Alonzo, along with Tierra, the stripper right here, and this attorney who actually wrote out a bogus insurance claim for over $400,000 on the nephew. And this nephew ended up getting shot in the chest. Now, comment in the comment section. I'm sorry. What would make somebody? To me, there's no reason. But what would make somebody arrange for the murder of their nephew? It has to be a sick, sick individual. I mean, just a sick, sick individual. You know, if he did it, he deserves to be wherever he's at. Now let's talk about Brittany. Brittany Spears. She was in court this week with her father. She wants her father removed from her conservatorship. And I get her point. I get her side and I get her father's side. Because if you've seen Brittany in the last 3 to 5 years, you'll know you notice she look like she got that deer in the headlights look, you know. So I would want to protect my baby too. So I get the father's point of view and his stance on the conservatorship. But also I get Brittany's, she done earned all this money, all this cheese, and she doesn't want to live a little bit. So that hence the Let Brittany Live movement. But tell me what you think about that. Should Brittany's father be removed from the conservatorship, or should we let Brittany live? Should we just let Brittany live a little bit? Let me know what you think. I think that there should be a compromise. That her father should be allowed to still not completely oversee her finances, but make sure she's straight. Just make sure she's straight. Now let's talk about Letitia Nene Leaks. Nene Leaks. Not a fan, but not an enemy, and not have anything positive or negative to say about Nene. She's talented at what she does. She's really talented at what she does, and there's an audience for it. But anyway, the whole cast of the Atlanta Housewives this past summer were in contract negotiations, and for some reason, every cast member, every cast member, except the ones that Bravo decided not to bring back, found a way to get that bag with their management. Nene him and him, and overvalued her worth for what she does. And I'm not taking nothing away from what she does. She's good at. There's an audience for what she does. I'm just saying they were giving her allegedly $2 million per season. I'm gonna repeat that: $2 million per season to do what she does. And she walked away. She was ready to walk away from that. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But anyway, so when she seen Bravo wasn't gonna budge, she wanted to go back and get that back. And Bravo was like, no. 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 So they took the offer off the table. So Nene, still overestimating her worth, decides she's gonna broadcast her own reality show. And she went on shows and she talked about it. And about a week ago, she gave us a snippet. I'm not gonna play it. It's not even worth playing. But gave us a snippet of what the show consists of. Actually, one I don't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a complete episode. But it was the aesthetics were disastrous, and it looked like it was shot in an industrial warehouse receiving intake dock. Literally, you would think somebody on her team would be like would have said, Needy, that it would be very damaging to your brand if we broadcast that. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. How do you walk away from a $2 million bag to broadcast the reading session? I can't. I just can't. I can't. You know. Let's never overestimate that we're not all can't be replaced at some time or another. I don't care what it is you do. Know that we're all replaceable at some time or another. And in closing, I have a question. I'm gonna get back to that entertainment question that I have that I've been going over in my mind. I've reached my own conclusion, but I just want to know what my family thinks out there about some of these images. I'm gonna start by burning some sage because you're gonna need a little sage for this. We're gonna need a little sage for this right here. Okay? I want you to tell me what it is that these images right here that the industry and the corporations are putting out have to do with music. Go ahead. I'm gonna give you a minute. Tell me. Absolutely nothing. This is what they're putting out there, and these are what our kids are looking at and listening to for some ungodly reason. And I'm gonna bring up a story of a friend, a young man that's 14 years old, family, but literally my girl's little cousin. He was a fan of XXX Extension, and when that one young man was murdered in his car, this young 14-year-old wasn't himself for 3 or 4 days. I mean, he was a major fan, and he was an honor roll student. Did everything he was supposed to do. He stayed with his aunt and his grandparents. Well, 3 days after Extension was murdered in his car, his grandfather comes home from a hospital appointment, and this young 14-year-old man, young boy, was hanging in the garage, hung himself. I'm gonna say it again. This 14-year-old boy thought his life was no longer worth living because XXX Extension got murdered in his car. Now, I'm gonna leave it at that. Tell me what these images are. Please comment in the comment section, and I'll see you on the next.